The 5 worst words a potential client can ever say to you and how to respond like an elite coach. Those 5 awful words are, let me think about it. You're talking to a potential client, you've served them really powerfully, they've asked you to explain about coaching, and they say, let me think about it. It's like your dating days. You've met somebody amazing, you want to go on a date, and they say, let me think about it. And you go into the friend zone, and this is the client friend zone. They think you're nice, they appreciate time with you, but they're not willing to go to the next level. Let me show you how to transform, let me think about it, into a powerful coaching moment. I've got 5 different ways you can take those words and play with them and show up as an elite coach. The moment they say to you, let me think about it, it's what I call role reversal. You're the coach, not them. Role reversal happens when they say, hey, let me think about it. This is my game. Let me get back to you. No, we don't play that game. If you're an elite coach, you need to shift that dynamic. Role reversal comes back and it leaves with you as the coach in your power as a coach, not someone who's trying to get a person as a client. Let's shift that. Let's begin. Here's the first point. Shift the decision-making dynamic. This is how you respond to them. Let me think about it, they say. And you respond, sure. Take all the time you need, but don't think about it. Decide right now that it's a clear no for coaching. And then let your intuition and your body tell you, even when it turns into a yes. If not, it stays a no. What you just did is help them understand that you're a coach in everything you do. You literally just coach them in how they respond. And you told them that you won't accept, let me think about it. You've helped them get to a no. And if they're not really a no, they'll feel that and they'll say so, or they'll come back to you. But you just got back in charge and said, let's call it a no, because you've already decided that. It's a great way to shift the energy. Here's the second response. They say, I'd love to work with you, but let me think about it. Take the pressure off them and yourself. Here's how you respond. Sure, let's take coaching off the table for now. I don't want you to feel any sense of guilt or obligation that you need to get back to me. Even when you're ready, you'll reach out to me. You know how to get hold of me. And if not, someone else will take this spot, and that's perfect. See what you did? Role reversal. You're back in charge. You're letting them know that you're taking coaching off the table, and they don't need to feel bad about that. It feels really good, and it feels really unusual on their side when you show up this way. If and when they're ready, they will be in touch. Here's the third way to respond. Let me think about it, they say. Here's how you respond. Sure. Would you like me to reserve this spot for you for the next 48 hours? Or are you okay with me offering it to others in the meantime? Let them tell you. Put the decision-making back in their hands. Let them realize this isn't something that's going to hang around forever, and they have to make a decision. The reason people don't like to make decisions, the word decision comes from the same root, the Latin root, that's in the word scissors. To decide means to cut off. It's in homicide too. It means to kill. We don't want to make decisions because it means cutting off our options. And what you're doing here is cutting off their options. You're having them decide in a way that feels really good and in a way that shows them, wow, this is a powerful coach in everything they do and everything they say. Here's the fourth point. Turn their hesitation into a stronger commitment. Can you think about it? You must think about it. If you said, I'm in, I'd have told you to sleep on it first. I don't let anybody say, I'm in and send me the money. I always tell them to sleep on it. Now look, if you wake up and it's a hell yes tomorrow, and it's a hell yes for me, we'll move forward. Anything less, we have to call it a hell no. Feel that one? Energetically, like you're pulling back, and that feels really good on the other side and sometimes draws them in. Here's the fifth way to respond to that. You bring a little bit of intensity and a little bit of humor at the same time. They say, let me think about it. And you say, think about it all you like. But I'm going to respond to you now, and I can respond to you in 2 ways. I can bring a feather or a sword. I can bring low flame coaching or high flame coaching to what you just said to me. Which do you prefer? Now, almost all the time when you say it like that, they ask for the high flame coaching. They want the sword, not the feather. So they want low flame as a response. You could say, look, take all the time you need. Let's call it a no for now. But most of the time, they ask for high flame coaching. And here's how you respond. Oh, you want the sword? Well, here it is. If it's not an 11 out of 10 for you, you must say no. But if it's close, let's meet again to find out what it would take to turn an 8 or a 9 or a 10 into an 11 out of 10. Then you'll know It'll be a hell yes or it's a hell no. You let me know. Again, every one of these responses has been about dialing up the intensity. You are modeling for these people. When they say, let me think about it, you don't play that game. That's not how we play around here. Because let me think about it is a no. There are no two ways about it. I tell you what, I'm gonna throw one more idea in here for you. And here's why. There's another way that people say no without saying no. And it's to say, I'd love to work with you, but I gotta run this decision past my spouse first. Or I really wanna work with you, but my husband's not on board with this. Look, if I wanna do something that costs significant money or time or energy, or me being away from the family, I know that I've gotta get my wife being okay with that decision. If I want it enough, that's my number one job. If I don't want it enough, I got on a call with a coach 2 or 3 years ago. I heard great things about them. By the end of the call, I knew they just were not the coach for me. And I just didn't feel comfortable to tell them they weren't a great coach for me. And so instead of, I felt myself doing it, instead of telling them the truth, I said, look, I'd love to work with you, but I can't make these kind of expensive decisions without talking to my wife first. Let me talk to her. And then I got back to them later and said, hey, I'd love to, but my wife's a no, so I can't be a yes right now. And it wasn't true. I just felt too awkward and embarrassed to tell them that they weren't the right coach for me. So I used a great excuse that they couldn't challenge me on. Sometimes people are gonna say this to you. I'd love to work with you, but my spouse is a no. Here's what you say in that moment. Look, I appreciate that. I'm married too. I know what it takes to enroll my wife, to get my wife on board with a really difficult decision, with a commitment that I wanna make. And here's what I've found over the years, that if I want something enough, I will do what it takes to get my wife on board. So I'm going to assume that you don't want this enough right now, which is why your partner's not on board. That's not a criticism, but it's worth you knowing. I know that there are decisions you've made and actions that you've taken that needed you to get your wife on board or your husband on board, and you did whatever it took. So if that's not happening right now, that means you're not fully in, which means you're not fully into the coaching, which means you're not fully in to the mission you say you have. And that's okay. But let's call it what it is. You're a strong, powerful person. Your spouse doesn't make the call on this, you do. So let's leave it there. You're not a yes right now, which means you're a hell no, and that's perfect. But I couldn't leave this conversation without being real, because that's who I am as a coach. You feel that? You feel how powerful I coach them around their no, their excuse? You see a smile slowly come onto my face right now, because it's fun to play this game. And your people will feel this. And your people will come back to you at some point and say, now I'm ready. Look, when a client says, let me think about it, it's not the end of the road. The ideas I've just given you, all 6 of them, give you a way to respond that let you step into the role of being an elite coach. And that is really enrolling. And that is really interesting and provocative and exciting to your people. Will they all turn their no into a yes? No, absolutely they won't. But some of them will. And the ones who do will be your people. Now, it's your turn. When you think back to all those ideas I gave you, which one of those resonates the most? Which one are you going to try first? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, if you'd like to hear more of these kind of ideas, then like and subscribe to my channel, because I want to notify you the next time I've got some cool stuff to share with you.